Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me, I appreciate it. Hit subscribe if you like what you see, and I appreciate that as well. I have for you today, you can't see it because I'm too close, but it's my Crown Vic. Yep, she's a big girl, let me tell you. You saw at the end of the last video of me putting this thing in the garage, and yeah, she's a little tight to work on in here because it's a full-size car, but I've got a few plans for it. I got a box of stuff from Napa, local store, so no free ads, but I went there and got some stuff. Like, I'll give you an idea what we're looking at here. I mean, this thing is grime and disgusting. Again, I apologize for the noise in the back. I got the heater going because my nice quiet one has bit the dust. But I got the air cleaner out. Looks like a Fram. Looks like it's also food. So we'll get that. We'll vacuum that out. I got spark plugs. I got some berryments for the fuel. I got oil. I got a filter down here somewheres. I got 5 gallons of gas, which we're gonna put some of that in and try to clean the old injectors up and try to flush all that bad fuel out. And we still got to get this thing in the air, and I'm going to fill you all in on what I plan on doing with the body as well. Now, I did have somebody point out that they saw where this car came from, and yes, you are correct. It used to be a security vehicle for a car show up in, I think, Worcester, Massachusetts. It used to be a small town Massachusetts police department car. But I've made the decision that if you look down this thing, it's actually pretty shiny. Like, the paint is actually quite good, except for this corner that I bumped into my Focus with it, and now I have to buff it out. But I've decided that all of the stickers, all the emblems, whatever's on it that's not factory, I think I'm going to take them off. Like I said, someone told me that a all black, not a black and white, but an all black Crown Vic P71 is probably pretty rare. I don't know, someone told me that. So I'm just gonna go with it because I like having rare things. I think that with a quick buff job and we, get rid of the lettering on it and buff all the letter edges off of the paint and try to match everything up nice, give her a good wax job, I bet this car would look amazing. I want to paint the wheels because you can see they look a little bit weathered. And look at that dry rot. Yeah, that's why this thing's getting new tires. But yeah, it's got the 16s on it, which I know 17s are probably a little bit better for these cars because of the rust issues that they have. But I'm just gonna take the center caps off, clean those up, and I'm gonna paint the wheels. Probably gonna get up underneath it, and as soon as we get done filming this little intro section, I'm gonna put the jacks under it, get her in the air, and I'm gonna get up underneath it, and I'm gonna check the rust situation, and we're probably gonna go and take the wheels off, paint the inner fender wells, really rust proof everything I possibly can, because this thing seems like a really good runner. I mean, it's very quiet. It kind of hunts a little bit at idle because I think that the fuel is just incredibly old, really needs a tune-up. But yeah, we're gonna go through that right now, and I'll get back at you once I get her in the air. Not good news. I haven't even gotten underneath the thing yet, and it's already bad news. I guess you win some and lose some, but I guess we'll figure this one out. I'll just show you. There's no sense in even like trying to get away with this one. Sorry, nose is kind of itchy already. I don't know what it is, but I think this thing triggers my allergies pretty bad because of all the mouse poop in it. Yeah, that's rust. I went to put the jack underneath it. Let me make it a little bit. There we go. Went to put the jack underneath it, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, these rocker panels look great. Then I realized they're not rocker panels. They're covers. And I stuck my hand underneath here. That's, that ain't a candy bar. So, I'm pretty sure, oh, a cookie, that the rockers are shot completely because I'm pulling chocolate chip Oreos out of here, or whatever the hell you call them. Oreos don't come in chocolate chip, but I kind of wish they did at this point. So I guess the only thing that I can do about this is, well, I guess, yikes. Okay, I'm glad you can't see that. I guess I'll just poke all the bad spots out and just leave the... Good grief, this is bad. How's the rest of it look? I don't know, it looks great. Except for this body mount, looks a little bent, but it'll probably hit something. Well, yeah, it'd be great if you could actually see it, but you can't because it's too dark. The frame looks good. You know what? I think I got a way of making you able to see this. Hey! All right. Now you can see something. All right, so that exhaust pipe don't look terrible, I guess. Big aluminum drive shaft, that looks good. Yeah, that body mount looks like crap. How's the mufflers look? I don't know, pretty good. It's got it's got like an H pipe in it. That's pretty interesting. That's good for about 0.8 of a horsepower. See, the frame is rusty looking, but it's not rotted. You know what I mean? It's just like it's unpainted metal, so it doesn't look that bad. The rocker, on the other hand, oh, yeah, we've already been through this. So, keep looking good, rocker cover. All right, so we're here under the rear end of the car, hoping that my quick jacks are set in the right place. But anyway, we're decoding the rear tag on the rear end. And I brushed it off, and I see this code up here. It says L, I don't know what that is. Probably a 3. L27. So that means this is the 327 rear with the track lock, which you could already tell if you saw the video where I did a gigantic burnout and it spun both tires. So this is the good rear in the car, traction lock, 2-wheel peel, sick rear end. All right, good. Number 1 done. Now we're gonna go to the front and decode the VIN number and see, you know, what we can find on there. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna show you my VIN number, but to decode the VIN on a Crown Victoria, to make sure that it is in fact a police interceptor, your 6th and 7th VIN number will give you your body code. Like if it's a 71, they call it a P71. That's the police interceptor. If it's a 72, it's a fleet car, 73, and so on, whatever. This one, I looked at the 6th and 7th VIN number. It is 71. So this is in fact a police issue P71 Interceptor Crown Vic. So that's number 2, good. And in case you were wondering, the P71 is a designation code for the police. It typically wasn't used for civilian use except for when they retired them and put them in the used car market or auction market or whatever. The 72 was a fleet car, typically government vehicles, taxis, personal use for, you know, whatever business applications they could possibly have. 73 was a fleet or base model Crown Victoria available for civilian consumption, I guess you could say. 74 was the civilian luxury model, so you got all the good bells and whistles and luxury items with that one. I think way back in the day they designated 79 as the station wagon model, but for these cars they definitely, I don't think they had a station wagon model of these. That was a lot older, like more towards the 80s and 90s, but designation codes I don't think have changed at all for a long time. So yeah, genuine P71, which is cool. Except it's a rust bucket. Sorry, it got cold in here again, so I had to turn the heater back on. Now I got 5 gallons of fresh 93 octane here for this thing. I know 93 is probably a bit overkill. I also got some Berryman, and I was gonna do something really kind of goofy and just pour the whole thing in there, but this treats up to like 21 gallons, I think. Let me read it. Yeah, this treats up to 21 gallons, and probably wouldn't be a great idea to pour the whole thing in, so I'm just going to do like the instructions actually tell you to. So I got a half cup of, measuring cup. That's only a half a cup. 1 ounce per gallon of gas. This will make about 4, and then I'll just add a splash for 5. So I'll mix that together and then go pour it in the back and get this thing full of some fresh gas and cleansing agents. Now, obviously, I'm not paid by these companies at all, but I did a little bit of research and I figured out that the Berryman has a lot more cleansing agents in it and is not really petroleum-based, whereas the Seafoam actually is petroleum-based. So what I like to do is I like to put the Berryman in the fuel system, and if you want to clean the inside of the engine with like oil and stuff, then I put Seafoam in. I put Seafoam in my wife's Saab, which is, well, outside, duh. And it had a little bit of a weird tick to it, and I poured the Seafoam in the oil, and it must have been a little bit of a sticky lifter because it cleaned it up enough that it didn't tick anymore. So whenever I do an oil change, I throw the Seafoam in. Again, 1 ounce per quart of oil. I usually just, if it's like between 4 and 6 quarts, I just throw a half of a cup in there and just straighten the old oil inlet there. And warm it, run it, warm it up to temperature. I don't think you want to drive it a heck of a lot. Like, keep it under like 250 miles and you should be fine. So that's usually what I do to keep the insides clean. So I'm pouring in my Seafoam, being responsible and using a funnel and still spilling it all over the damn place. So I pulled the cap off for the oil, and that does not fill me with a lot of hope. That's all sludge. The whole thing is sludge. So I looked down the old fill tube hole here, and it looks a little chunky in there. Hopefully this Seafoam will really help to break all that crap up. To be honest with you, that's kind of the point. Seafoam is meant to clean a lot of carbon and sludgy nonsense out. So I guess if I want this engine to live a long time and be a good, part of my family, I guess you could call it, we're going to be doing a lot of oil changes, and we're going to be doing a lot of Seafoam because I guess, when you do a synthetic oil change, you can do the change, a lot further distance, like 5,000 or 8,000, up to 10,000 sometimes. I mean, other people will tell you different, but let's be honest, I had a Volkswagen where you could do those oil changes. It was actually in the book. The owner's manual said that you could do an oil change at 10,000 miles. So I did it. And obviously you have to run full synthetic, which is pretty standard nowadays. There's a rag. I've been looking for one. And, I mean, older oils, you would do 3,000. Synthetic oils, I'd say, if you want your engine to stay really nice, 5. But you can change your oil whenever you want, as long as you don't go over the limit. But read your owner's manual, and they'll tell you exactly what you should and shouldn't do. So, who better to tell you what to do with your car than the people who actually designed and built it? So, I'll check the owner's manual on intervals and stuff, but I'm probably just going to change it every 3 to 5 and Seafoam the absolute hell out of it every single time. I can always sweep the floor, right? I mean, we don't want that much dookie in here. Oh, the light's on. Look at that. Oh, close your mouth, kids. Oh, jeez. $10 to the first person who finds the mouse that comes flying out of here. Oh, shit. Oh, oh. Oh, my God. Hang on. This is fun. All right, we got us a mascot. What should we name him? I'll put you here for now. It's the gift that keeps on giving, isn't it? Always keep your mouth closed, kids. Oh. Well, I didn't eat any of it. Hair looks better than before. Okay, oh. Is this evidence? Glasses. When the last person hit by this car. I have no idea. What was this at one point? Rat? Possum? Well, there's a few teeth left in it. Hang on a second. That's better. It's really gross. There's stuff like shaking around in it. Oh, you know what? I'm good on that. I'm good. Is that an omen? Like, is that a bad omen? I mean, where's the rest of it? If I found the skull in the intake, like resting in there, where's the rest of it? We'll just forget it. We'll move on. Well, folks, I don't really know if you can tell or not, but I think something's been living in the hood, or at least inside this car somewhere. Not sure how you can tell, but I mean, it's pretty crunchy. Well, there's a little bit more. I gotta... It doesn't look bad under here. I mean, it could use a good degreasing. I am going to have to get into the blower system at some point, pull that out, vacuum all the mouse and whatever stuff out of there. You can see there's some stuff up in this area here, which even if you have a new running car, mice will find ways to get up in your hood and trash everything under the hood. Doesn't matter what time of year. I mean, my wife and I had a Subaru that was fairly new that we drove every single day, and a mouse had somehow gotten into it and chewed through one wire, just one, overnight. And it was the activator wire to the clutch on the air conditioner, so that when you click the air conditioner button, nothing happened. So instead of taking it to the dealership and having them do it and it costing me a whole ton of money on diagnostics, I looked under the hood, found one wire missing, and I'm like, that's why the AC won't work. Soldered it back together. Good to go. Hopefully I don't have to do that to this thing, but fingers crossed. All right, I just got the battery all hooked up. I bought a new one when we got it, obviously. I think I told you that, but I disconnected because, you know, this thing's a cop car and it's probably got a whole ton of stuff I mean, look at these. I got 2 wires here for something. I got all sorts of wires up under here for something. And the battery that I took out of this thing came from, I think it said like June or July of this year. And it was stone flat dead. Then again, it was kind of a no-name battery, but threw an O'Reilly's battery in here, and every time I haven't worked on this thing, I've been pulling the battery terminals off just to make sure, because I do not want to buy another damn battery. These things are expensive. So I'm going to get the door open, and I'm going to get this thing fired up, and we're going to start it and let the sea foam run through the oil, get a heat cycle put into it, get the fresh gas put through it with some Berrymans, and see what happens. I do kind of like the reflectors in the doors. I wonder if it's got the Kevlar in the doors, so if you get shot at, it's not, well, it'll at least help slow the bullet down. Huh. Anything in the back? No? They don't care about the back door? No. Whatever. Not like I've ever been in the back of one of these things before. I'm a good boy. Well, remember when I said that the wipers don't work? Apparently they work. Look, I got fast speed now, and I got slow speed. I'm just going to use it. I think that it was one of those things where the motor was just kind of corroded or some weird thing was going on with it, but shut these things off. Even the sprayer works. I mean, I cleaned the windshield. Hey, you know what? I'm not going to question it. They work. Need new blades, obviously, because they make a noise and they don't clean nothing. But hey, mark that one off the list. But check out this rear view. That thing is horrible. You can't really see it on camera, or maybe you can, but that thing is really bad. Forgot to mention, this thing is idling way better than it was before. Maybe it just needed that fresh fuel. I don't know, but it was kind of revving up and down, kind of hunting a little bit before. Now it's really kind of stable. You touch the gas. Oh, good. I just told you something, and the freaking French came on. The check engine light. You can't script this crap. I swear to God. Well, at least it'll tell me something. At least I'll figure something out. Okay, now I'm confused because there's the check engine light. That's just a wrench. Which one does what? You know what? I'm just gonna hook up my OBD2 freaking reader and see what this thing says for real. Maybe I'll figure out why these ABS and brake lights are on too. Okay, so I went and grabbed the code reader, and let me show you what I did. This thing is cold, so it takes a minute for the LCD screen to catch up. Stored codes. See, look how long it takes to switch over. Okay, nothing stored. To pending codes, yeah, cold screen. If it was warmer, it would definitely be easier to read. All right, so I got mass airflow, something there or other. Oh, yeah. I think I forgot to plug that back in. Anyway, intake air temperature sensor circuit and throttle actuator something. Hang on, let me plug that thing back in and clear codes and see what happens. Okay, I went and plugged the sensor for the mass airflow sensor back in because I had the intake pipe off to do a new air filter on the front there. And now I only got one code, which is throttle actuator control system force limited power question mark. What's question mark? Oh God, I think I just locked the car. Okay. Quick description. Yes. The throttle actuator is the motor. Yes, we know that. Yep. Okay. Cool. And so why is it? Uh-huh. Oh. I guess I'll Google it. Well, I gotta be honest with you, she's definitely idling way better. Definitely sounds really quiet. I'm still gonna seafoam the absolute hell out of the oil because I saw that little bit of sludge in the oil cap and I don't trust it, but I mean, she's been running for a while and this thing is quieter than my Focus, and my Focus has half the damn cylinders. Like if you go here behind the front wheels, you can barely hear it running. And if you go way back here, the only way you can tell it's running is because it's freaking cold out and there's a lot of condensation coming out of the exhaust. So I looked up that code and it said, hey, try cleaning out your throttle body. Like, get all up in here and spray some cleaner on it. Make sure that it does that. Maybe it'll clear the code out of the throttle body or the throttle position sensor. I mean, I got just the stuff for that, which is really good with carbon, and that is Seafoam. This stuff removes all sorts of carbon deposits from intakes and valves and all sorts of stuff. So I'll probably hose her down with that, wipe it off, or clean it up with a toothbrush. Whatever ends up in the engine, it'll burn up anyway. So we'll give that a shot. So that's it for this episode. I hope you got a good introduction to the Crown Vic. And there's going to be plenty more episodes because we still got a lot of work to do. And I'm going to get this thing shut off. It's already come up to temp. I'll probably run it up and down the block a few times just to get the brakes, make sure that they don't get rusty. And see what else I might need. I'm guaranteeing that the shocks and struts on this thing are probably factory. But so I know that I took it like 50 feet down the road and it was kind of wallowy a little bit, but I'm going to get this thing shut down. I'm going to air the garage out, and I'm going to go inside and watch a race. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Again, stay tuned. We got plenty of episodes coming. I got lots of projects in the pipeline, and I appreciate every single one of you that's been subscribing lately. We've been growing this thing very slowly, but that's how it goes. And thank you all so very, very much. Tell your friends if you enjoy what you see. I know sometimes we're a little bit technical and dry sometimes, but hey, maybe you learned something and I learned something along the way too. So thank you all for watching. I greatly appreciate it. So gross. At least there's no bodies in this car. Not like the last one. Still a lot of poop. See, this is the stuff they won't show you. The behind the scenes stuff. Ain't nobody helping me do this. Outside you go. So gross. Ouch.